Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show, where what we do is we fly through all the news, and I make a little pithy comment here and there, little wit as we go. The big, beautiful bill, I can bring you up to date. Right now, it's about 11:35, and they are gathering right now to vote on this. J.D. Vance is in the House. They think they flipped Lisa Murkowski, but the bottom line is they're not going to call the vote unless it passes. And then if it passes, it goes back to Congress. Folks, it isn't perfect. Elon Musk is really assailing it at the last hour. But the bottom line is, I'll take it. The B-2 flyover. President Trump is going to have the B-2 flyover on the 4th of July at the White House, and he is going to have, during the 4th of July, the B-2 pilots at the White House. Good for him. Trump says Japan is spoiled. Trump is so funny. He goes, they won't take our rice. And, he's basically using them as an example, the tariffs on their cars. But he says if they don't make the deals, they're going to get in a letter saying, here's what your tariff is. John Cusack, again, I love this guy as an actor, but he is a moron when it comes to politics. He actually wrote on X, Iran will surely rush to get a nuclear weapon, and they should get one. It's the only way to deter U.S. and Israel from bombing every country in the Middle East. What other countries in the Middle East does America and Israel bomb? None. I mean, see, this is what happens when you are an actor and you don't know what the hell you're talking about and you enter the arena. Elon Musk, I have to laugh at something Elon Musk said about the Republican Party. He called it the Porky Pig Party. That's funny. That's very funny. He called it the Porky Pig Party. That's pretty dang funny. You got to laugh at that. All right, Brian Koberger, plea deal. This is so awful. They're going to give this guy a plea deal. He's going to plead guilty, drop the death penalty, 4 consecutive life sentences, waive right to appeal, and there's dispute whether or not the family knew. But folks, here's why it makes me sick. What this guy is now doing is admitting it. He's going to admit it. And if you're admitting that you did that, how do you not die? The government's going to house this guy till he dies? Hopefully he dies in prison. A horrible death. But I just can't understand how there are times when a prosecutor has to say, you got to die. That's simple. $100 billion in customs revenue. How do you like that based on tariffs? A lot of airport cancellations up in the east from thunderstorms yesterday. Wife of Vance Bowler. It looked like maybe she was involved. Nope. She denies all knowledge. Issued a statement saying how bad she felt. So it looks like she's fully cooperating with the government. And last on our national news, Alligator Alcatraz. And I was fortunate enough to just watch Donald Trump and DeSantis on the tarmac talk about this place. This is a state already there. The concrete's already there. They're not going to keep these people there for long. They're there, they're going to have their hearing, then they get flown out from there. It's beautiful, and it's already there. For all those people that are worried about hurting the Everglades, this place already is there. And it is very funny that they could get eaten by a snake. Trump is so funny. Trump says, now if they get chased by an alligator, you got to run zigzag and not straight. I mean, Trump's so funny. Oh, and in world news, G7, U.S. will be excluded from the 15% minimum tax. Think about the impact of that economically for American companies. Joe Biden just let it all be. Syria sanctions are going to be lifted July 1st today. This is a move to support Syria's efforts to rebuild. And this is what Trump's offering Iran. Syria's like, let's be like these other Middle Eastern countries and have an economic program. In pop culture, the F1 opening was top over the weekend, and it looks like they're going to do an F1 too. Brad Pitt, of course, stars. and an heroic dad on a Disney cruise. A young girl fell from the fourth deck of the Disney Dream Cruise while returning to Florida from the Bahamas, and the dad jumped in and saved her. By the way, what dad wouldn't? I would have, and good for him. Treaded water for 10 or 20 minutes until the rescue came. But good for dad. And then, folks, the reason why you never know about a jury is you just never know who's on that jury. And if you're a criminal defendant that is going to get nailed, sometimes you get lucky. Right out of the gate, the jury told the judge that there is a certain juror, apparently a European descent, who can't follow the jury instructions. The judge told him just keep on deliberating. So old Diddy's defense team's going to be going, ha, ha, ha. They might have a juror that's just not going to do anything. And by the way, if you are facing what Diddy is facing and you have money, I can't believe this doesn't happen more often. What do you got to lose to try to bribe a juror? Seriously, what do you got to lose? Sports Without Boundaries. The Dolphins and Steelers pulled off a huge trade. The Steelers get cornerback Jalen Ramsey and tight end Jonnu Smith, and the Dolphins get Minkah Fitzpatrick. My good buddy Bob Winter says Minkah's dropped off a little bit, but I like this trade for the Dolphins. I mean, I'm just telling you, you got a safety with his impact. And Wimbledon began yesterday, and I watched a match. It was a really good match. It was Fritz from America and a French guy, and they didn't get to finish it. It's going to go into 5 sets. History. Today was the beginning of the Battle of Gettysburg. Great day in history. And Shakespeare, don't be a dog-hearted, dankish hag. That's a good one. If you live in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area, make sure you check out my local news.